Starbucks and Ashanti. What are the relevant facts and basic concepts that must be recalled within the article? How are those concepts related to each other in explaining the analogy of Starbucks and Shanti? To put it another way, Starbucks and Shanti is a literary work that upholds the general effects of globalization by describing its global connectivity and modernity. It also highlighted the fact that globalization produces its own negative effects. The presence of Starbucks improved the idea of written work. One of the prosperous companies that has benefited from global expanded into foreign markets. Starbucks developed into the huge conglomerate we are familiar with today. There are Starbucks stores almost everywhere on the planet, so everybody, regardless of wealth, can get Starbucks coffee. These nations include Melbourne, Manila, New York, and New Delhi, to name a few. From food to the setting and the services offered, every one of these countries offers the same Starbucks experience. As a result, globalization seems to be growing egalitarian and stable. However, a completely different world, one created by globalization and other factors, can be found outside the shadow of modern, appealing cafes. To distinguish the tale, a young beggar with ripped clothing and worn-out footwear is typically seen in Manila and Delhi. The homes also lack basic sanitation and are built from salvaged plywood and galvanized iron sheets. These are the people who governments, as a result of their poverty, weakness, corruption, and instability, are unable to provide for the basic needs of their citizens. The existence of Starbucks and Ashanti shows how inadequate globalization is. The vast gap between the global North and the global South is exemplified by Starbucks and Ashanti. The industrial nations that make up the global North are characterized by wealth, democracy, and political and economic stability. The group of nations include those that value free enterprise, the rule of law, and high levels of literacy. Comparatively, the flexibility of interstate inequality is represented by the global South. The cry for nations hurt by institutions, harsh economic policies is the global South. The underdevelopment of countries and peoples, as well as their underrepresentation in international political processes, were also addressed. The Global South is both a reality and an ongoing project. The phrase Global South is primarily symbolic and refers to the appearance of cohesion that emerged when former colonial powers tried to construct a post-war international order and undertake political decolonization projects. Currently, social inequality is one of the most problem. There can be no wiggle room here. Nobody can look at this reality without perceiving the vast disparities in living conditions between the richest and poorest people as the worst kind of injustice. One of the most unequal and destitute nations in the world is the Philippines. Poverty may have far-reaching economic effects in addition to making it harder for families to make ends meet. In the Philippines, where more than a quarter of the population lives below the poverty line, economic and social inequality are severe issues.